Hi everybody, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. I'm Irene and this is Lifestyle Over 60. And today I'm going to be telling you the story of my recent hospitalization. It was not fun. Coming up. So I guess it serves me right because I had just done a video about what happens when you go to your doctor when you turn 65. If you want to watch it, I'll link it below. Anyway, I was just minding my own business. It was 3 weeks ago today, and I kind of just felt like I had a little diarrhea, like nothing major, like maybe I just ate something weird. I didn't think much of it, That was Saturday 3 weeks ago. But as the day wore on, I kind of felt unwell and diarrhea kept going. So, you do what anyone does and you take Imodium to try to kind of stop it. And meanwhile, though, I was feeling worse Sunday, and Monday the diarrhea is getting really bad. So by Tuesday morning, it was like, Uncle, I need to do something. We need to get me help. So we go to the urgent care near us and told them what was going on, and they said, you have to go to the ER. Excuse me. You have to go to the ER. We don't have what you need here. So off we went to the emergency room. So I'm a really healthy person, and I have not been in a hospital since I gave birth to my son. And he's 27. Okay, so we get there, we're in the emergency room. They sort of check you in the waiting area, and I'm sitting there with my husband in the waiting room. And I kind of felt my body start to decompensate. If you know what I mean, I felt woozy and weak, and I was starting to get the cold sweat. And all I knew was I had to get on the ground. So I kind of, got on the ground in the waiting room of the emergency room at the hospital, and I was laying on my left side, and it felt really good on the ground because it was like concrete and it was cool, and I was stabilized there, but they wouldn't let me stay on the ground. No. So I guess the attendant came running and someone else, and they brought a wheelchair, and so that they're trying to lift me into this wheelchair. So I get in there, and as soon as I sit in the wheelchair, it's like, oh God, I had to throw up. So it's a little too much information. You might want to, Anyway, so I threw up over the side of the wheelchair, and then they went running and got me a throw up bag. I looked up, and the whole waiting room's looking at me, obviously. It was kind of embarrassing. But that did get me in sooner, and so they took me back into the treatment area. What I didn't hear in the treatment area, and my husband heard, was more than one. The doctor saying, well, you feel badly because you have COVID. You feel badly because you have COVID. He said he heard it at least 3 or 4 times, so COVID's all around us. I still have not had it. I hope you haven't either. But yeah, so I mean, it's just, you don't want to be in an emergency room or in a hospital, but I had no choice. So they put me in the CT scanner. Never had one of those either. That like an MRI, but only went up to my, my tummy kind of area. So they did a CT scan and they ran some tests. Meanwhile, I'm still pooping my head off, a little bit of nausea. And so they come back and they say, you have a C. diff infection. Okay, C. diff, C-diff, C. difficile. It is a bacteria that is normally in our intestines to some degree, but it can overgrow, which is what happened to me, and make you very sick. It can be life-threatening. So you have a C. diff infection. Never heard of it even, right? And you're going to have to hospitalize you because you need the IV fluids and the antibiotics. So next thing I know, this is now Tuesday night, they're wheeling me into this room, and I don't think I left that room for 7 days, except once they let me out with my husband to just walk outside for a minute. But otherwise, I was kind of confined to that room, and I was on an IV the whole time. Okay, I'm in America, and I don't know how it is where you live, but our hospital system is terrible, like bad. It was a really bad experience the whole time. I had a couple of very nice nurses who took a special interest, and I appreciated them very much. But for the most part, it's if you can't get your nutritional needs met, you can't get your sunlight needs met, you can't get out of the bed. I had to keep getting up and down to go to the bathroom with the IV, right? So I'm back and forth with the IV, but otherwise they give everybody a blood thinner shot every day, because I guess if you're in bed too long, you're at risk of developing clots. So blood thinner shots, and then these are my arms. I was allergic to the tape they use. So they taped the IV to my arm with, tape, and I was allergic to that tape. And then they come and take blood at least twice a day, sometimes more often, and then they put a cotton ball in your arm and tape that tape. So I was allergic to the tape, and both of my arms were inflamed like this. It's much better now. But yeah, it was really bad, really bad. The other thing that happened while I was there is they were giving me potassium in the IV along with the fluid, and they let you know that potassium can burn when it's going in a little bit. Okay, so you can feel it. It kind of burns, but it wasn't too bad. But at some point, the IV starts stinging kind of bad, and stinging and worse and worse. So I called the nurse. They're not quick to come in at all. Finally comes in. I say, there's something going on with the IV. I don't think it's right. So she checks it and she goes, yeah, I think we need a new IV. So she pulls it out, and kind of expected it would be an immediate relief, but it wasn't. What had happened was it had gotten dislodged. And so this fluids and the potassium was being injected into my skin. And it hurt like hell. And I am not a baby. I was crying. My whole arm was just stinging, and oh my God. The doctor ordered lidocaine, and that really helped, but yeah, so don't be hospitalized if you can help it. So you might be wondering, well, how did I get this? What causes C. diff infection? It can be caused by antibiotics, and I had taken a course of antibiotics a couple months back for a hand infection. I got stabbed by a rose thorn while I was gardening, got infected. So I took antibiotics, and it's possible that kind of just set my gut up to be a little off balance. And then C. diff is in the environment. So if someone has an infection and they are preparing food and you eat that food, you can get it like that, or it can spread in healthcare facilities, or it can live on surfaces for quite a long period of time. So someone has it, they touch something, you touch that thing, and then touch your face, So I'm never gonna know for sure where or how I got it, but don't get it. Don't get it. So I've been recovering at home now for about a week and a half, and I'm finally beginning to feel better. Very slow recovery, pretty nasty infection, very painful. I don't recommend it. I didn't even lose that much weight, So yeah, so that's what I've been for the last week. And sorry for the interruption in the fun videos, but I'll be back, and I'm just really glad to be alive and to be on the mend, and I've decided to make a full recovery, so that's what's gonna happen. And so it is. By the way, thank you to all of you who've left really kind messages for me. I appreciate it. I've read them all, and yeah, it means the world to me. So thank you, and I'll be back with more really soon. Take care.